Hi, this is George, and today I'm going to go over something for um, kind of a cross between a doodle and a pattern. I'm going to be using my pencil, which is a mechanical pencil. It's a number 2, but I like the constant point that I have with that. I'm going to be using my kneader eraser because it's general on the paper without destroying the paper or leaving residue behind. I'm going to use my Staedtler 8 pigment liner. It comes with a set of 8 widths, and I like these because, one, they have the number on the cap as well as on the pen itself. So if it gets separated one from the other, I know which cap goes with which pen. Also, you can use it with just the black for doodling, but you can also apply a little bit of watercolor, or in this case, I'm going to probably use my Cameron Dash. It's a set of 15 water-soluble crayons that when you apply the crayon and a little bit of water, the crayon dissolves and becomes like watercolor. And let's see. And in case I do use watercolor or Cameron Dash, I have some water over here to the side, and I use that to clean off my brush and get new water for my brush. And I will also use a paper towel, or you can use a regular towel. It's all depends on you. For my pad, I'm going to be using the Pentalic. It's 100% watercolor paper, and I like to use these because they're small, so I don't necessarily have to commit to a long section of painting or doodling. And also, it's in one location, so as opposed to different pieces of paper, I can work in a pad, and I go from one page to the other. And because I like to work small, it's just the right size. Now, if you like the pattern and want to do it in a larger format, that's up to you. I do suggest, if you have any plans of using watercolor or another wet medium, to use a 100% cotton, because cotton paper will absorb a lot of use as opposed to a multi-medium paper, because it's after a while, after like two applications of watercolor, the subsequent layers will, instead of absorbing into the paper, will lay on the paper, and you have a lot more reactivation even if you don't want to. So let's see. I'm having um, going to go in with a square, and you can do it in any kind of shape. Um, I'm going to quadrant it off. And again, I'm not really concerned about the waviness of the line because it looks more organic. But if you want to have straight lines, use a ruler or a straight edge and go from there. So when you are laying in the sketch for the heart, well, use it as lightly as possible. That way, it'll be easier to erase when you want to get rid of the pencil marks. So, as you can see, I have one heart up, facing up, or pointing up, and I have another one pointing down. I'm going to rotate my paper, and I'm going to start with a little bit of a dot because it gives me a kind of a starting point for my heart, and I'm going to round out a little bit. I like doing hearts because nowadays we are so stressed and our energies are kind of messed up. So it's when I was in the hospital for my stroke, I found that some of the stress that I was going through was kind of lessened by the warmth and acceptance of the doctors and nurses, and I didn't feel all alone. So I've always liked hearts, but now they have a new meaning for me. So I have 4 hearts here, but if you want to add more hearts, go for it. And again, free-handed. Nothing says it's going to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be. I have one here. Okay, so this is this part, the penciling in, is going good. So let's continue. Now, as I said, the Statler comes with 8 pigment liners. I like to use these because they have different widths. So like this is 1.0, and I like to use this one as an outliner because it has a nice thick point. And I'm going to go up to where the heart comes into another one, stop, lift up, and go around. And take your time. There's no race going on here. And if you make a mistake, own it and just continue. Because this is your doodle and you can do whatever you want. It kind of looked like a flower. Now you can do the border, but I want to say that for later. So this was the 1.0, and for the next part, I'm going to use the 0.7. It's finer point, but still a little bit. So you can see the difference between that line and that one. This is thicker and this is thinner. And I use the one here as kind of the secondary detailing. I have to give it to kudos for the artists who have instructions or on YouTube that they actually can talk while they're going through the instructions. I haven't actually been able to do that yet. But hopefully I will be able to do it eventually. So every so often I will have a lull in my speaking because apparently I can't do more. I can only do one thing at a time. And let's see. So I think this part is done. And I'm going to let the ink dry a bit. Although it's the Staedtler tend to dry really quickly. But I'll be back in a few. And as always, as I wait for the ink to dry, I come up with another idea. So right now you have 4 small hearts and 4 bigger hearts. I like to do doodles that have odd elements in them. So I'm going to do another heart. So it'll be 9. Or an odd number of hearts. I'm probably overcomplicating it, but that's okay. That's me. And I decided to draw in my border. And again, I'm keeping it on purpose, the wonky lines. Okay, so that's how it looks. Now this is upside down, but that's okay. I like that. Okay. I'm going to let it dry this time and not going to add any more hearts. Okay, so let's go with the native eraser. And so far, so good. No smearing. And I noticed that the line that was over here, I didn't ink in, or this one here. But I like that in that, like I said, nothing has to be perfect. You are the master of your own doodle. So if you discover something, maybe it was meant to be, and just go for it. You can always add the ink to these two sections later on if you need to. So how do you like it? Now you can have it be by itself, but I like to use a little bit of color.